the chosen one. Please listen. This is the moment that changes your fate forever. You're not here by chance. This message discovered you because something in the spiritual world has connection with you. You're standing on the verge of something incredible. What you do next will either complete or postpone the divine cycle. Heaven is urging you again, shouting from the mountaintops, whispering in the quiet, and rearranging the parts of your existence to ultimately put you face to face with this last step. Yes, this is the last stage, because everything before this was preparation. This is different. This is divine teaching. Your life is not supposed to look as it did in the past. You are intended to develop. You are intended to ascend. And now, in divine time, you are receiving instructions to accomplish what God has set inside you. But listen carefully before anything else, before your breakthrough comes through and the doors swing wide. You're being asked to take one action. Listen. Watch this video till the finish. Open your heart. Stay present. Do not miss the call and leave a remark. Your heartfelt aspirations to ignite the environment, and write 777 as a heavenly indication that you are prepared. Wishes are strong when stated with faith because the universe listens and starts moving. One intention may change the path of your whole destiny. If it is discharged at the correct moment and with the right intensity, the time is now. Your desire is not too huge. Your dream isn't too far away. Your triumph is not delayed. It's been divinely planned. Now choose one. I like this video. Subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the channel, let we begin. The chosen one. This is your call to align. You have felt the turmoil. You've made it through the trial. And you have stood in the flames. Longer than most people realized. But it was a pre-shift test. You needed to be burnt so that everything extraneous would burn away. What you're holding today is more than simply vision. It is a divine mission. And the last step isn't to fight harder, run faster, or prove anything. It is important to pay close attention to the directions. God has been waiting to speak to your spirit. You have been battling in the dark. However, this is a lighter time. You've survived storms. But this is your sunshine. This message is not for enjoyment. This is an activation. You're being asked to stop, to feel, to receive. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, since this is a spiritual cue, the divine plan for your ascent is unfolding. It is not only about what you see. It is about what you are finally prepared to hear. And the reality is, you've always known this day was coming. The reason things have been so heated recently, strange emotional upheavals, a quiet yearning to withdraw from distractions, and a strong longing for isolation. It's not a coincidence. It is heavenly recalibration. Heaven has been altering your frequency to allow you to hear what is only audible at this level. You are not insane for stepping away from some individuals. You are not incorrect in refusing the noise. All of this was preparing you to realize the truth. The fact is that this is the last phase. The next level cannot be obtained only via effort. It will be opened with obedience. And obedience starts with listening. Your spirit heard whispers in the quiet. Something significant is about to happen. Something fresh is on its way. That was not fantasy. That was not wishful thinking. That was a prophesied swelling in your bones. You're in the last hour before manifestation. But hear this. Ignoring the directive delays the breakthrough. If you ignore this message, you stymie what heaven is attempting to communicate. Don't allow the old doubting voice prevent you from delivering your heavenly message. This time you must choose faith. This time you must answer yes, even if you don't understand every detail. Even if the how is unclear. Even if the road seems invisible. Listen, because hearing triggers divine activity. You have already prayed. You have already worked. You have already waited. This is not about income. It is about stepping in. There is no need for you to do anything more. You should align more. You do not need to prove anything. You must believe all God has proclaimed over you. This is not the time to strive harder. This is the season of deeper surrender. Your strength is not your weapon. It is your quiet, your stillness, your receptivity to heavenly whispers. If you miss that whisper, you may lose out on the prosperity it delivers. That's why this video is important. The old route is being closed. You have already felt it. Things that formerly worked are no longer functioning. People who once supported you have gone quiet. Doors that were previously open have unexpectedly closed. It is not sabotage. It is holy redirection. The supernatural is clearing your way not to punish you, but to direct you to the one door that leads to everything you've been hoping for. Your donation provides a source of inspiration and healing for many individuals. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. The breakthrough has been waiting for you to calm down and release your hold on control. I'm waiting for you to quit overthinking and start tuning in. The chosen one. You've made it through the most difficult portion. Surviving. You are now entering the holy area. Listening. God is not playing hide and seek. He speaks clearly, but you must align your soul with his vibration. Fear, distraction, and uncertainty will not allow you to hear the frequency of heaven. It can only be detected when there is someone present. Faith and surrender. What if everything you wished for has already arrived? What if the only reason it hasn't reached your hands yet is because your heart hasn't slowed long enough to accept it? This last step is not a job. It is a spiritual attunement. It's God telling you that you don't have to earn it anymore. You simply need to trust me enough to accept it. Listen, let go, make room. This is your last preparation. This is the quiet before a divine storm of benefits. And you won't have to pursue anything since what's coming is already pursuing you. Heaven is moving right now. The holy countdown has already started. And everything is waiting for you to say yes. The chosen one. You're not behind schedule. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You are ideally positioned in divine harmony. Even if your present situation seems perplexing, this is the point in the trip when rationality fails and trust is the only compass that works. The old cycle has you gasping for air, attempting to stay focused on survival while God is introducing you to plenty. But first, you must hear him. You gotta hear this. This message did not come to you just to inspire you. It came to break the cycle of delay and put your feet squarely on the road of destiny. Allow this to settle in your spirit. The last phase is internal before it becomes outward. It's full of energy. Before it was material. It is about spiritual standing, not bodily outcomes. Too often, we wait for the outer world to change while heaven waits for us to change inside. This is a challenging task. It's an attitude issue. This is a surrender thing. Are you actually willing to let go of something that no longer serves your purpose? Are you ready to embrace a version of yourself that is motivated by trust rather than fear? Because that's what this step demands. Radical trust. The sort that silences dread even when you don't know what will happen next. There's a reason this season has been so heavy. That weight on your chest was not just due to external responsibilities. It was the strain of transition, attempting to break open the shell you've outgrown. You were not breaking down. You were breaking out. You were being prepped for a miraculous download. And the reason you couldn't describe what was occurring to anybody else is because what is happening to you is unusual. This is a holy task and sacred terrain. You've been picked to bear what others would crumble beneath. But now it is time. The cocoon is breaking apart. And your wings, spiritual identity, a new era. Everything is becoming clear. This is when heaven leans in and says, "Do you trust me?" Not with words, but with calm, silence, and obedience. Because faith is not loud. Faith is not showy. Faith is frequently still. And the quiet is your ultimate test. Can you stop running long enough to accept heavenly guidance? Can you turn off the noise long enough to hear what heaven is saying right now? Because if you did, if you really listen, you will understand something profound. The plan has already been drafted, and it is more lovely than you could have dreamed. Now is not the time to go back. You have come too far. The anguish you've had was not in vain. The quiet you experienced was not desertion. It was a preparation. God was removing what was inadequate for your future. He was uprooting what you couldn't take with you. And now, with the distractions gone and the way clean, you're ready to receive the next heavenly command. But it's simple. Don't become too complex. Just listen. Not with your ears, with your spirit, with your whole attention, with your preparedness. Let go of the urge to comprehend everything. Stop attempting to control the way. The last phase is about trust, not tactics. It is about energy, not work. It is about capitulation, not strategy. You're entering a domain where miracles happen, not because you earned them, but because you linked with them. This is the last message before the floodgates open. The spiritual tension you've been experiencing isn't resistance. It is a state of preparedness. Your soul feels something significant is going to occur. You've been waking up at weird hours and experiencing unexpected surges of lucidity, sensing changes in the atmosphere. That is heavenly alignment. That's paradise becoming louder. And you're not imagining it. Let wash over you. This is genuine. This is now. This is yours. Things that used to slow you down will no longer affect you. People who ignored you will be unable to refuse you the resources you previously pleaded for. Will now locate you easily. Why? Your frequency has changed. Because the minute you started listening, truly listening, you joined the stream of heavenly supply. God does not bless loudness. He blesses clarity. You now hold clarity. Every unresolved question is going to be addressed in your soul. Knowledge, rather than facts. You will simply know what to do. You'll simply know who to speak to. You will simply know when to move. This knowledge is your heavenly compass. This calm is the key. And this message, this is your confirmation. You didn't come upon this by chance. You were lead here, summoned here. Heaven designed this moment within your chronology. And it feels so intense because it is genuine. You are on the verge of realizing your heavenly potential. Do not look back. Do not hesitate. Move on with spiritual fire in your soul. The last phase is not about accomplishing more. It is about being more. Being present. Being open. Being ready. You are not the same as you were last year. Even last month, you were not who you are today. You are developing quickly, divinely, and supernaturally. With such progress comes a change in education. Old techniques will not work for the upcoming season. That is why you must listen. Because heaven has revised your assignment. With the upgrade come new resources, friends, vision, and power. But it all begins with your obedience. With your silence, with your yes decided. You are no longer wandering aimlessly across the woods. You are being guided by heavenly force to the country that has always been promised to you. The trip has not been random. Each detour was delicious. Every delay was planned. And now the instructions are apparent. This is the point at which you listen not just with purpose, but with surrender. You've seen glimpses of your fate. You felt the weight of your calling, even if you couldn't articulate it. You understood deep down that your name had been given a significant meaning. But knowing added strain. It elicited opposition. It made you wonder whether you were really qualified to bear what you were asked to carry. But let this be the last time. You distrust yourself. You are not required to be flawless. You're being requested to be present. You have been stretched recently because you are being extended. Expansion seems like breaking, yet it is truly becoming. Heaven, increasing your ability to carry what is coming since the following level is larger. The blessing is heavier, the stage is larger, and you cannot afford to enter without being totally connected in your soul. This last step is not about performance. It's all about posture. The position of humility, openness, and bravery. Listening does not imply waiting for a booming voice in the sky. It entails paying attention to what has already been happening inside you. Subtle nudges, recurrent signals, and holy patterns. God communicates clearly, not in misunderstanding. And you already know what He has been calling you to accomplish. You've simply been afraid to acknowledge it. However, it is the time to let go. The fear that has been impeding your growth is finally shattering. The falsehoods that have constrained your actions are losing traction. The worry kept whispering, "What if it fails?" It is hushed, because you are now entering the space of, "What if it works? What if everything ends out better than you ever imagined? What if there was prosperity, love, peace, and clarity?" What if it isn't that distant anymore? What if it is already yours? It is just waiting for your obedience. This is the last instruction. Align and receive. The world has taught you to work for your value, but heaven teaches you to yield to it. You don't need to pursue anything. When your soul aligns with divine timing, you attract everything. It's not about working harder. It's about being in the zone. The flow of grace, heavenly supply, and favor, which cannot be earned but must be accepted. And the only way to get into that flow is to listen. You can't hear heavenly guidance if you're drowning in distraction. You cannot receive spiritual downloads if your mind is full with noise. That is why the stillness has been so heavy recently. God has been clearing room inside of you so that you may finally be here. And suddenly the noise is silent. You are ready. Prepare to get the codes for your next elevation. Ready to enter the season that has been waiting for you. This is a confirmation. Everything began to slip away because heaven was making place. That connection is ending. That door is shutting. That strategy is coming apart. It was not punishment. It was a preparation. And the wait was beautiful. The pain was due to development. And now that the distractions are gone, the downloading may commence. Your spirit will tell you things that your head cannot understand. They will, nevertheless, strike a chord with your spirit. You'll feel calm when you used to feel panicked. You'll feel assured where you used to feel scared. That is the shift. That is the indication. That's the supernatural rule in action. It is already occurring, but it cannot be hastened. This is not a race. It's a revelation. And what's exposed is your genuine self, not the version of yourself formed by survival, not the version of you that was shaped by trauma. However, the divine version of you was selected before the earth even existed. The version that walks in knowledge, the version that starts with clarity, the version that hears and moves as heaven speaks. You are entering heavenly consciousness. You are being reintroduced into your destiny. And everything that has attempted to distract you from this moment has been vanquished because your ears are open, your heart is ready, and your spirit is in sync. You are not powerless. You're not waiting for a miracle. You're walking into it. The fact that you are still alive, breathing, and believing is evidence that heaven is not finished with you. In reality, it's just the beginning. The window is opening, which is why you feel this sense of urgency. The last instructions are being whispered. The last phase is underway. And you're ready to live it out with complete trust. The miraculous setup has already started. Everything is aligning, and the universe is ready for you to act. Not force, but divine movement. The type that begins in quiet. The sort that starts as a whisper. The sort that alters things permanently. The chosen one. This is the moment. The one your soul has been planning for. This is not exaggeration. It is sacred. This isn't a coincidence. This is confirmation. Now is the moment to choose one. Your quiet is no more empty. It is sacrosanct. Every minute spent in peaceful thought was not squandered. It was a miraculous recalibration. The world has taught you that waiting implies nothing is occurring. However, in the kingdom, patience is a weapon. Listening is war. And right now, your capacity to listen has become your most valuable spiritual instrument. Heaven is discussing tactics. Heaven is opening doors that cannot be opened by force, only by frequency.